Nice That You Looking At. You All Over Me is a song by the American singer-songwriter Taylor Swift, featuring harmony vocals from the American singer Maren Morris. Swift wrote the track with Scooter Caruso in 2005 for her second studio album, Fearless, 2008, but excluded it from the track listing. She produced the song with Aaron Dessner for the album's 2021 re-recording. Fearless, Taylor's version, You All Over Me, was released for download via Swift's website on March 26, 2021. A ballad that combines styles of Americana, country rock, and roots rock, You All Over Me has an acoustic and mid-tempo production. In the lyrics, a narrator is ruminating on a past romance that she cannot move on but ultimately accepts of what happened. The song received generally positive reviews from critics, who discussed the similarity to Fearless and praised the songwriting, production, and both artists' performances. It peaked at number 35 on the Billboard Global 200 and reached the national charts of Australia, Canada, Ireland, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Swift performed You All Over Me with Morris during a Chicago concert as part of her Eras Tour, 2023-2024, after signing a new contract with Republic Records. Taylor Swift began re-recording her first 6 studio albums in November 2020. The decision followed a public dispute in 2019 between Swift and the talent manager Scooter Braun, who acquired Big Machine Records, including the masters of her albums which the label had released. By re-recording the albums, Swift had full ownership of the new masters, which enabled her to control the licensing of her songs for commercial use, and therefore substituted the Big Machine-owned masters. On February 11, 2021, Swift announced the first of her re-recorded albums, Fearless, Taylor's version, a re-recording of her second studio album Fearless, 2008. In addition to re-recordings of the original album's tracks, Fearless, Taylor's version, contained 6 From the Vault tracks which were songs written for the original that did not make the final cut. Swift explained that these tracks were left out of Fearless for various reasons, and that including them on the re-recorded album proved that the artist is the only one who really knows that body of work. The following day, she released Love Story, Taylor's version, a re-recording of the album's lead single. On March 24, 2021. Swift announced the first From the Vault track from Fearless, Taylor's version, titled You All Over Me. She wrote the song with Scooter Caruso in 2005, and a demo recording of it had previously been leaked online in 2017. Swift subsequently revealed that the American singer Maren Morris would be featuring background vocals on the song. According to her post on social media, the reason she chose Morris was to experiment, play, and even include some of my favorite artists. On March 25, 2021, a snippet of You All Over Me was played on Good Morning America. It was released for limited time download via Swift's website the next day. The song is listed as track 21 on the album, which came out on April 9, 2021. On May 26, it was included on the streaming compilation, Fearless, Taylor's version, the From the Vault chapter, which features the 5 other From the Vault songs from the album. On June 3, 2023, Swift sang You All Over Me with Morris on acoustic guitars during the Chicago stop of her Eras Tour, 2023-2024. You All Over Me is 3 minutes and 40 seconds long. Swift produced the song with Aaron Dessner, who recorded it with Bella Blasco at Long Pond Studios in Hudson Valley. Christopher Rowe recorded Swift's vocals at Kitty Committee Studio in London, and Greg Kurstin and Julian Berg recorded Morris's vocals at No Expectations Studios in Los Angeles. Dessner engineered the track with Blasko and Jonathan Lowe. He also provided drum machine programming and instruments including acoustic, bass, electric, and high-string guitars, keyboards, piano, percussion, and synthesizers. Other musicians on the song are Jonathan Kaufman, electric guitar, harmonica, and Eric Stick, drums. It was mixed by Serban Geni at Mix Star Studios in Virginia Beach, and mastered by Randy Merrill at Sterling Sound in Edgewater. You All Over Me is a ballad combining genres of Americana, country pop and roots rock. Having an acoustic and mid-tempo production, its instrumentation features fiddles, mandolin, chiming guitars, looping synth drums, and subdued percussion. The song includes electric guitar riffs that NME's Hannah Milrea described as warm and understated. Its opening was identified by critics to either be plucked strings or a subtle synth line. Swift's voice on the track contains twang, and Morris accompanies her in the chorus with low harmony vocals. Milrea thought the crisp drum lines and Morris's vocals respectively recalled those of the fellow album tracks, Come In With the Rain and Forever and Always. She also opined that the production has major influences from Swift's 2020 albums Folklore and Evermore. John Freeman from Rolling Stone commented that it had an atmosphere full of swirling. The AV Club's Saloni Gajar felt that the song would have fit within the original album because of its music that combines country and pop. For Variety, Chris Willman believed that it was courtesy of Nathan Chapman. As with much of the previously released tracks from Fearless, You All Over Me has lyrics about a story told from the perspective of a teenage girl and sharing the lessons she has learned. It is about the narrator's contemplation over a faded romance, and details her inability to move on. She is constantly being reeled back into the memories of the relationship and addresses the messiness it left on her. The way the tires turn stone on old country roads, they leave it muddy underneath, reminds me of you. The narrator eventually accepts what happened and moves on from the relationship. I lived, and I learned, and found out what it was to turn around and see that we were never really meant to be. Several critics commented that You All Over Me and some of its lyrics served as a prequel to Clean from Swift's album 1989-2014. A track that also had the same theme of moving on from a relationship. In Taste of Country, Billy Dukes thought the lyrics were soft-spoken, and suggested that the track's subject could be an abusive ex-lover whom the narrator now harshly rebuked. Ellie Bate of BuzzFeed News found the song's opening line to resemble to that of the fellow album track, Fearless, which describes rain on a sidewalk. When it was released, a few critics deemed You All Over Me similar to the original Fearless. Ross Horton of the line of Best Fit stated that the song has many of the same visceral, nostalgic thrills from the album, but with an almost cinematic sheen. Milrea wrote that the music gave her a little bit déjà vu and felt that the song, although a previously unreleased track, was like a time capsule of the Fearless era. Bate believed that the track had some of the most recognizable trademarks of the album, attributing it to the lyricism and production. Critics generally praised the songwriting, the production, and the vocal performances. Milrea thought Swift's voice was more powerful than it was on the original Fearless, and the lyrics showcased her storytelling that manages to convey a whole relationship in a few sentences and contains her signature put-down. Bates said that Swift's country twang on the song was endearing and a tried-and-true hallmark of earlier discography, which she also described to the lyrics and its references. Lucy Harbron of Clash believed that the track's sound from its immediate predecessors would make it have big radio potential. Jason Lipschutz from Billboard considered the lyrics to have truly what set the singer-songwriter apart at a young age. The Guardian's writer Kitty Empire thought the From the Vault tracks were a mixed bag, but she picked the song as a highlight and found its sound satisfying. Similarly, Chris Devil of Stereogum said that the tracks were solid, but he highlighted You All Over Me and wrote that it was a moody duet between Swift and Morris. The Times author Will Hodgkinson considered the song earnestly sweet, while Kelsey Barnes from Gigwise thought Swift's collaboration with Morris fits perfectly alongside her other collaborations. Some critics were more reserved in their praise. Willman believed that it had a lot of terrific lines, reminiscent of Swift's early songwriting. But he stated that the track's electric guitar was abrasive and out of place, yet also enough to like 2008 Heartland Radio. Jackson Langford from MTV wrote that it was spotlit and intimate, and applauded Swift's delivery and Morris's contribution, but he felt that Swift could have used more country twang. The Telegraph's music journalist Neil McCormick said that the song's sinuously seductive nature would have been a little too pushily aggressive for Taylor's teenage image. Jonathan Keefe of Slant Magazine thought the track's remarkably sleazy reading was an outlier among the other lyrical motifs on the album. Later reviews of You All Over Me were included in lists and rankings of Swift's songs and have been fairly positive. Gajar said that it was a lovely trip down memory lane and had a seemingly simple but beautiful and effective melody. Billboard writers considered the song fearless core at its finest and thought Morris's vocal contribution made Swift's songwriting shine brighter. Jake Viswanath of Bustle wrote that it almost feels too mature for fearless, which was further added by Swift's vocals and her wisdom as an adult. Stephanie Wang of Nylon said that the song has her most vivid storytelling to date. This is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.